Take two. Bloody audio didn't capture the first time I did this video. So we'll start again. Hello everyone, it's Tuesday the 16th of August and it is 10:08 in the evening my time. Sorry I'm late this week. Usually I do one on a Monday morning. It did used to be Sunday, but my wife is a school teacher and it's her only week off this week before she starts a new job on the new term at the end of the week, start of next week. Due to all the COVID and stupid rules and regulations over here in Hong Kong, they moved all the holidays and stuff, and teachers are having a nightmare. So summer holidays has basically been 10 days when usually it's 5 or 6 weeks. Anyway, enough of all the personal stuff. I've been being busy. Let's get to the charts and see what's going on. So as always, it's EURGBP at the beginning, and let's have a little look at the weekly, and I'll just show you the big gap underneath this demand zone where we are. So this is the weekly time frame, and as you can see, we've been in this big channel for a long time now, a couple of years, moving down continuously. We've had to have a pop up above the moving average, but again price came crashing back down through the moving average pretty recently. But as you can see, these candles to the left here that caused a big surge up, there's not a lot of action going on. There's clean moving candles that we can move straight through. There's some imbalance there on the way up that needs to be filled, and this wick could get filled. So yeah, it's a clean range that we can just move through if price does break through this demand zone. So if it does drop through, then we could get a nice easy quick sell on, a nice big trade. It should move quite quickly depending on price action. Previously we had a buy from this demand zone and we rode up to this supply zone at the top here. As you can see, it peaked and then we started falling back down. That's when we moved our stop loss up and we took profit because it did take a long time to get up there. We saw price crash through the trend, and then obviously it broke down below the moving average, and now we've got some bearish structure. Trend's been confirmed. We're creating lower lows and lower highs, and we've just created our second lower high once we broke through this trend line, and we've got a demand zone at the bottom here. So if we break this small demand zone, it looks like we could possibly be moving lower, and then it will really tell us the story of what's going to happen longer term if this demand zone is touched down here, and if it does break or hold. Now there's a little range that we could be moving in and out of, up and down in here, which is not much, 72 pips, so it's not something I really want to trade. Ideally we want to get another long-term buy on either at this demand zone here if it holds, or this one further down here. Now if this one does break, then we could look to get a nice sell on for that big gap fill. If it moves, if this big weekly demand zone breaks, which has been standing for a long time now and it's been touched many times, then it does look like we could move quickly down, further down to this demand zone on the weekly below here. So yeah, we'll give it a chance to hold, and we'll buy if it support seems to be forming around this area or this area, and then we can hold it for the supply zone at the top here again, as we did previously, as we're looking for a break and a nice medium bullish term trend. If it doesn't hold and it breaks, then we're going to lock to sell from a supply zone created once these zones have been broken. Then we'll be able to see the supply zone, and then we can look to tag along and get a nice big sell on. So that's EURGBP. What I'm looking at the moment, unfortunately there's nothing to take right now. It's a bit of a watching game. Pardon. So with that done, we will move to GBPJPY, and as you can see, we broke from the triangle, we touched down in the demand zone, price shot back up quickly. We've created a little supply zone here around 163.5. This little range is deceivingly big. It's 300 pips, so we could trade this range. As you can see, the price today has touched this demand zone and it's shot back up again straight away. So there's not much chance of us getting a buy on so far. Once we've touched this zone, it's shot back up instantly in the same day. If you were watching on the lower time frames, then we could have saw that and you could have traded that quite easily. But again, obviously, you know, we're quite busy with life. We've got stuff going on daily. We don't have time to sit there on the charts all day every day and see it hit these prices. That's why we trade the daily time frame. So if price visits back up to this little supply zone here, then I'll look to get a sell on. If it visits and holds at this zone here and we get a nice 50% candle around this area, then we'll look to get a buy on. Yeah, so that's pretty much GJ. Obviously I'd love to get a buy on in a lower demand zone down here, but we'll have to wait and see what price does over this week, coming week. Ideally a nice small little intraday sell from this supply zone is still a risk to reward ratio of over 4, so it's not bad at all, and it should move pretty quickly if this range is going to form for the next couple of weeks. So we'll wait and see what happens with that over this week and see what price action does. So with that covered, we'll go to EURAUD, and as you can see, prices broke down. If we go over to the weekly, this weekly zone was broken, as you can see. The candle closed below last week. This week it opened and we have retraced, so we'll go back to the daily, and ideally we could be looking for sells now. That zone has been broken, so this little supply zone here would be a nice little sell that we could buy from. Sell from, sorry, pardon my French. If price comes back all the way up to this supply, then that would be a nice ideal sell. And then obviously the moving average is pointing downwards now at a 45-degree angle. So yeah, any of those would be ideal to sell from, because it looks like we could possibly be moving further south, especially because the Aussie dollar's been quite strong recently against the USD, and it's been in a bullish trend. So yeah, let's tag along to the AUD strength, especially because Euro has been very weak. So that's what to look for on EURAUD. So with that done, we'll move to GBPUSD. And as you can see, supply zone was created back in June. We've seen price come down and create a demand zone at the bottom here. And then we was looking for buys, but it didn't move up. It moved into the supply zone and then dropped back down again here. So there's not much going on. A little double top that was formed there. Yeah, we can just see price moving between this range so far. Let's have a measure the range. The range is 383 pips. So you know, it's not to be sniffed at if we can catch a trade on either the supply zone or demand zone. Longer term, I wanted to wait for the trend to break and we started trading above the moving average. But if price does visit back down to this demand zone, you know, I would be willing to get a smaller positioned, a smaller risk position on this demand zone. So let's wait and see on GBPUSD. So yeah, look to buy down at the demand zone at 1.18. So with that covered, we'll move to EURUSD. Pretty similar. We were trading in a range. Price broke out. A bit of a fake out. As you can see, we gathered some supply and we've tanked straight back down. Price is still currently tanking. So let's see whether this level holds at 1.01, and then we start trading this range again, or whether it tanks straight through and we see price visit back down to the $1 mark, or €1. €1, sorry, because it's the euro is the dominant currency. So €1 is $1, which is a good psychological price mark for price to react to. So that would be my shout on EURUSD. Get a smaller risk position again if we see price visit down at this demand zone here for a longer term swing buy. Pretty simple stuff on that one. Long swings, it's just gonna take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you position yourself in the market well lower down, then you're going to get volume in pips and a good return overall. It just takes time. You need patience to hold it. Pretty simple to do though. So with that covered, we'll move on to gold, which is a trade that we're currently holding in profit. I think I sent a picture out on the platforms last week on all the forums, Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So if you check my profiles, I think it was up here. I marked out this zone as a demand zone that I could see price falling back down to before we gather some more support. Possibly break above the moving average, possibly break the supply zone and start trading above the moving average and get some nice medium length term, possibly long term, because gold is usually always bullish in December. So if we can be bullish from now until December, and then December's bullish as well, then this buy that we're on is going to return some nice pips and a good return for us. I mean, if we went back to the top, that's a 10-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So let's see what's happening with gold. Like I say, I'm running risk free now. My stop loss is at entry, I think it is on gold. I'll have to double check, but no, I'm running risk free anyway. As price moves further up, then we can just keep moving our stop loss into more profit as we go. This is a possible stackable level if price comes back down here and holds at this demand zone that was created. So if you missed the first one, you could possibly get on a buy here at this level around 1764, and then we're looking for the break above the moving average and supply zone to continue. So yeah, so holding, watching on gold, still in profits. What is the profit so far? Sorry, profit so far is 655 pips. So not a bad shout so far. So yeah, so let's move on to Bitcoin, which is another trade that we're holding. Currently price action is still bullish. We're creating higher highs so far, and we're getting squeezed into a corner. I think this is going to be it's going to be playtime soon. We're getting squeezed into this corner, and price is meeting the moving average. And usually, when price meets the moving average, we get some action from it. As you can see here, it touched, it went down. We got some nice big candles. It touched here on the way down and reacted from it, and then we got a big drop. As you can see, once price gets near it, it dropped through here, came up, coming to the vicinity of the moving average, obviously in a bearish trend, and then we dropped, come back up, dropped. It's an indicator of time, the moving average, and as we've been moving slowly bullish for, when is that, June to August, June, July, August, so it's like almost 4 months once we move into September. And obviously it's time for a breakout, I think, and I'd like to see us break above the moving average, test this resistance level that was support at 28,600, then we might get a drop back, hopefully hit the moving average for some dynamic support, break above that, and then we can start hitting 30,000, and then quite a few people might change their mind on the trend of what Bitcoin is going to be for the medium term at least, and we're going to return a lot of profits, hopefully. And the profits we're currently in is 4,646 pips. So we're just going to keep holding for now and moving your stop loss into profit the further we move north. So that's it really. There's a couple positions to look out for: EURAUD, EURGBP. If we move down, GU and EU, possibly. Pretty much a waiting game. And again, sorry, this week there's not much to give you, but managing trades that we're currently in is a big part of Forex, and managing your account. You're not losing anything. Securing profits along the way is what helps you to sustain your account long term. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good trading week this week, and I will see you all again next week. Cheers everyone, take care.